First Amendment guarantees freedom of speech. Freedom of speech gives Americans the right to express themselves without having to worry about government interference. It's the most basic component of freedom of expression.
Freedom of speech allows citizens to speak their mind. People can say what they want within reason. Freedom of speech allows people to voice their opinions without getting penalized. People can advertise, talk about politics, openly talk about unpopular, controversial views, opinions, and topics. This includes signs, photos, videos, radio shows, TV shows, and paintings. Freedom of speech does not allow harm, violence, advocating drugs, illegal activities, and making inappropriate speeches and events.
The Supreme Court case that we chose was Tinker versus Des Moines. In December 1965, a group of students in Des Moines held a meeting at 16-year-old Christopher Eckhart's home to plan a public showing of their support for a truce in the Vietnam War. The leaders of the protest were Christopher Eckhart and Mary Beth Tinker. They decided to wear black armbands throughout the holiday season and to fast on December 16th and New Year's Eve. The principals and faculty of Des Moines School learned of the plan and met on December 14th to create a policy that stated that any student wearing an armband would be asked to remove it, and with refusal to do so would result in suspension. On December 16th, Mary Beth Tinker and Christopher Eckhart wore their armbands to school and were sent home. The following day, Mary Beth Tinker's brother, John Tinker, did the same thing with the same result. The students did not return to school until after New Year's Day, which was the planned day of the end of the protest.
Through their parents, the students sued the school district for violating the students' right of expression and sought an injunction to prevent the school district from disciplining the students. After being rejected by multiple courts which sided their school, the students took their case to the Supreme Court in 1969, where the court ruled 7-2 in favor of the students. 7 of the judges took the students' sides, whereas 2 took the school side. The Supreme Court believed that the students' free rights should be protected.
Without the First Amendment, the students that voiced their opinion on the Vietnam War wouldn't have had the choice to speak up at all and would have had to just accept the punishment for disobeying the principal's order not to wear the black bands on their arms. The students would also not have been able to take the case to Supreme Court and win. The Tinker versus Des Moines case has an impact on present-day school protests and students speaking freely, and without the First Amendment, people of all ages in any environment wouldn't have the right to share their thoughts and opinions.
If our country did not have freedom of speech of the First Amendment, then no one would have any rights to talk about political or unpopular opinions. Whether it is on the radio, talk shows, any other form of entertainment, in the newspaper or in magazines, people wouldn't be able to say anything without getting penalized. For example, a country without freedom of speech is North Korea. In North Korea, anyone who criticizes the government or its political leaders would get arrested and or would be thrown into one of their re-education camps.